Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Prince Magnum channel where hot rodding and romance do coexist. I'm your host, Prince Magnum. Welcome to Urban Survival. Almost said welcome to Surviving Romance. Welcome to Urban Survival. We're just doing some kind of touch-up work to the camping axe. And I figured today would be a great, this particular stream, it would be a great time to talk about some of the things that are going on here on the channel. Get you guys caught up to date with my time, minutes, hours now. We're really talking hours, and kind of preparing to go back to work tomorrow. We're just going to look at a lot of different things that's going to be going on this coming week. 1 week before Princess Faye goes on vacation, and then after that, we're going to be taking a look at what we're going to be doing that week she's on vacation, just kind of keeping busy and everything. So as people begin to file in, make their way into the channel, we're going to kind of how did the weekend go? How did we do on our watch time? And that sort of thing. So, and then, we're going to try to figure that in the way that it needs to be. So we're just kind of going from there. So, as people, it shouldn't be much longer before people begin making their way in for the evening. I am going to make the usual adjustments to the chat so I can keep up with it as best as I can. So, we have that now taken care of. And we're, again, it's urban survival, basically that make surviving, whether it's in an urban situation or if you're like me and you live at kind of on the edge of civilization, I live in an apartment complex, still part of Bonne Terre, but where I live is not that developed. So there's still a lot of wooded area around where I live. So living in a spot like that, I'm right at that cusp where I'm still in town, but I'm just at the edge of all that development. And even if you live in a major metropolitan area, you'll still have some skill sets that will help you along the way. That is the design behind urban survival. And having that skill set and those amazing abilities to kind of, go that extra length, I guess you could say, to help your family, or just even if it's just you or an entire family survive. Knowing how to refurbish tools or to make certain things that some people would want during a survival, during a crisis, those are amazing skills that I think everybody should have. And even if you don't use these, on a daily basis, even not using these skill sets, at least having that knowledge. How you doing, Queen? Welcome to Live. It's good to see you today. The bicycle project is up here now. We'll be going a little bit further into the bicycle project as the week progresses into this next week. Wednesday Night Raiders definitely on. I know you all really enjoy I'm doing great. Here in just a few minutes, I'm going to go in, show you guys the loaf of bread that I just baked up. Princess Faye, we made some adjustments to the recipe, and that sort of thing. How you doing? Think Different. So we made some adjustments to our recipe, so we'll be going in and doing that. There's also going to be some channel updates because I know a lot of you have been wondering how close we are to our watch time. One of these times I'm going to have to bake you up a loaf and send it to you. Have to vacuum seal that sucker. Yeah. Be really interesting to see what you think of it. Currently, right now, I'm also working on a compilation video that I think you all will enjoy from Fortnite. I'm working on that. Currently, right now, we're still kind of setting things up. Yeah, one of these times I'm going to have to do that. I'm going to have to vacuum seal a loaf of my bread and send that to you. I think you would really enjoy it. I mean, it's dense, but it has a nice structure to it. And right now, I'm actually waiting for it to cool down just enough and then we'll break out a cutting mat. We'll take a couple of slices off of it and set it aside because Princess Faye wants some sliced bread when she gets home. This is the type of bread that here in the United States that we were making and baking here in the U.S. Before there was a bread slicer, so you had to have a good bread knife. Well, unfortunately, we haven't picked one up yet, but that is on my to-do list. Seriously considering going over and getting a good bread knife from from like one of the secondhand stores and refurbing that here on the channel. Again, part of urban survival. That I think that would be a fantastic idea. Go over and refurbish an old bread knife, and then make like a new handle for it that would last a very long time. Just different things like that. We're still, we're always looking ahead. Always looking ahead. As a matter of fact, I may have a knife project on my hand for urban survival. So there's going to be a lot of projects that we're still going to be continuing throughout the year. That also being said, we're again, back into that whole thing where what else can we do? What can we do to go to the next level here on the channel? Obviously, we've still got the car projects. I got to talk to a friend. A couple of people want to, want me to want to do the welding on Project Spirit. Weld up those rust holes and everything. Couple people have more or less volunteered. So that'll be in the making where we may be taking and doing some different stuff like that. I'm actually getting a little bit of lag here, so just kind of a heads up. It's going to reset my chat here in a second. Not completely reset it, but it's going to mess with it a little bit. So we're going to continue forward, obviously. And like I said, here just shortly, we're going to go in. You guys are going to see the new loaf of bread. All I did was make a few minor adjustments. With the minor adjustments that we made to the recipe, all I did is I halved the water and used whole milk instead. So in that regard, it's, the same, basically the same loaf of bread. It's just with some slightly different ingredients. Along with that, we've also started using unbleached all-purpose flour. A lot of people were very familiar with the bleached all-purpose flour. And of course, there's even the self-rising all-purpose bleached flour. Flour isn't just flour. And one of these days, we'll actually have to dive into that a little bit more closely on urban survival. Basically explaining, things that people need, want, that sort of thing. And eventually, I want to look at getting some whole wheat flours for the channel for urban survival. We're also talking about this next spring because the farmers market is pretty well done. We're actually talking about this next spring for urban survival, actually starting to bake breads and take it to the farmers market and sell them. So that actually may be a thing. Be a great windfall for the Prince Magnum channel, actually making and baking bread, say like on a Friday night, making like tons of bread, baking up a ton of bread and then taking it in and then making extra money on a Saturday into Sunday at a farmer's market, make really good money, come home and that sort of thing. I think that would be a wonderful, wonderful thing that a lot of people could enjoy. It's just one of those things. We're back to, what can we do to go to the next level? What's going on, filming? It's good to see you, buddy. So now that we have a few more people in here, we're getting close to that 10-minute marker. Let me go ahead now and tell you all, I just looked at the numbers for the Prince Magnum channel. We have broke 3,000 watch hours. We're at 3,005. So as you guys are watching right now, those numbers are still climbing. We're now at 3,000 watch hours. With the video that we did this morning, the whole thing with doing the bicycle project, literally for 15 minutes for that live stream, We actually picked up something like 2 hours of watch time. So we, as of this morning, the Cinnamon live stream with the playbacks, that particular live stream is sitting at a grand total of 80 views and climbing. Evidently, we're just going to have to restructure it a little bit in case we run into problems like we did last night. So we're going to have to definitely restructure that just an absolute smidge. But for the first time out, I can live with 80 views. So good for us, right? One of the next things that we also have to talk about, because the Prince Magnum channel has been jumping for the last week. We have been very, very busy, probably busier than we have in a long time. In the past, it's always surrounded a car show of some sort and getting our names out and everything. We've been very busy. So we are now, as you all are watching right now, we are sitting at 3,005 hours of watch time. So we only have 995 watch hours to nail down at this very moment. That is impressive by no stretch of the imagination. So if any of you've got an extra device laying around, you're not using it or anything, and you want to actually get us closer to the monetization number, the first thing that I will tell you right now is that you could do, there's certain playlists that are up on the Prince Magnum channel, absolutely fantastic videos that I definitely suggest for anyone. Take your time, take a look at those videos. If you have a moment, or just let the playlist run. The ones that you definitely want on that top videos, again, my chat just is acting up. Top videos that you definitely want on to look. There's actually a playlist, about 25 videos, and some of the best work with Cinnamon, coming into her own, if you will. I don't know if I'm going to add tomorrow's, it's one of those ones, I'll leave it there for the watch time hours, but then beyond that point, I'm probably not going to get super hung up on it. We're also going to old videos that just isn't really bringing in the numbers. Just one of those things. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes you make a video and it's just not watched. It's just not worth people's time to watch. So that's one of those things. So in this particular live stream, we're going to spend a little time doing a little bit of detail work to our camping axe. We're also going to take a look at the new loaf of bread that I just made today. And we're not going to go real heavy with the sanding because the bicycle project is right over there. And I did have to go back through and do a couple touch-up sprays to that paint. There was just a couple of spots where not enough paint actually touched the project, and you could still see primer all the way through. So that wasn't a good thing. But that does happen from time to time. You're going to get that. It's a weird project anyways. So we're going to kind of go through, touch up the edges in this particular groove. We're going to kind of reshape this bottom. I already cut off what we did not need. And I will tell you right now that the camping axe does feel a lot better in the hand. It's a little bit more top heavy up here, which is what I wanted anyways. And let me explain. This is not for throwing. This is not a throwing axe, okay? It's not a tomahawk. It's a camping axe, okay? It's designed to chop wood. It's designed to work as a hammer on the back end, driving tent stakes, helping you use a splitting maul of some sort, things like that. It's not meant for that crap that you see in some of those outdoor survival videos. It's designed to chop wood and drive in tent stakes. So beyond that point, you're asking too much of this axe. So lopping off a little bit of the end and then rounding off the edge, getting it ready to be sanded down. We're not going to be doing a whole lot in the way of sanding today. Again, bicycle project is right there. So we're going to spend some time. I've got out my files, a couple of good files here. One of them that we're very familiar with. And we're going to do a little bit of filing and kind of trim it up, get it cleaned up, get it ready for when I do sand it, and then we'll put a different finish on it, and this will be ready to actually use. We will definitely be doing that at some point. We're going to be looking at hopefully sometime this coming weekend where we will be sitting down and actually spending some time with our camping axe and the saw that we used and any other tool that we have refurbished here on the channel. We'll definitely be doing that. Spending some time with the tools that we have been using. We might, God only knows what we'll do. But we're definitely in that area. So we have again refurbished. We took filing, um, and I'm gonna show off the loaf of bread that we made earlier. Again, I love baking homemade breads. Again, as the channel continues to grow, we're also, real quick, if you're wondering the subscriber number, because it always just shows anymore, 1.06K, whenever I bring it up. We're sitting at 1,063 subscribers right now. That number will fluctuate as time goes on. People, YouTube doing what it does best. But we have gained just enough to get us into the 1.6K area. So that's not bad. That's not bad. We've got a lot more ground to cover. So I know at this point, everyone's curious about the loaf of bread that I was talking about, and we will slice it up in this particular live stream, but we're going to give it a little bit. So let's go inside. We'll go into the kitchen, which is, it's not a complete disaster, but it is a little rough right now. Here we go. There's our loaf of bread that I made. Structure, it feels like, got a nice crust, Okay. Sounds hollow on the inside when you give it its thump. It came out wonderful. Again, you're going to get, with breads like this, you're going to get a little splitting on the top. Now, there is ways to prevent that type of splitting. You take like a razor knife and go over the top and put these grooves in. Perfect for slash, you just slash it. And a lot of bakers actually have stuff like that, the professional bakers. But the bread came out wonderful. It looks like it has a nice, good structure. And a little bit later in the live stream, we will definitely slice that open so you guys can see what it looks like on the inside. All right, so good for us, right? We did good. And again, this is a type of bread, the types of bread that we're kind of making here on the channel. This is your usual breads that, if you will, these are the types of bread that very typical of, in our country here in the United States, very typical from back then. So if you guys, I've got the video footage. I've just got to get to editing it. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. Why did I just do that? There we go. Again, lots of time and effort into the channel, and I'm really happy about that. There we go. It looks good. It looks amazing. I was really happy with how it turned out. So here I'm going to go ahead and turn on the light out here. We're going to begin kind of trimming up the nasties on the axe head. And then we're going to talk a little bit more again about where the channel's going at this point. This is just kind of a chill, more than anything, this is just kind of a chill stream right now. Kind of talking about the milestones that we have managed to pull off here on the channel. Couldn't ask for more. So let me tilt you all down a little bit so y'all can see the axe as I work on it. All right, and I will do my best to keep up with the chat as much as possible. Again, donut holes. There we go, getting that rough edge off of it, where it burred up on us. And just getting rid of that edge. Now we could try a saw, but I honestly feel that a saw would actually be overkill in this particular case. There we go. You guys can see how that's trimming up really nice. And for those who do not know, I am right-handed. You're a lefty? They say that the way the brain works, it always controls, the opposite side controls what hand. So if you're right-handed, the left side of your brain controls the body, whereas opposed to the lefties, the right side controls brain functions, which I always found interesting. I don't know how true this is, but I do find it interesting. So I guess you could say that those of you who are left-handed are in your right mind. Again, we're just trimming this up, making it look a little bit more presentable. Right. So far, I see 2 and 2 likes. If there's anybody else who's with us who has not dropped the like, I mean, even if you're lurky turkey, that's totally fine. It's now actually flush with our axe head. Check that out. See if we could take that down just a little bit more. Hate how the camera is just wobbling here. There we go. Got that all trimmed up now. That looks great. Now the fun part. We have to round off this edge so it's not so jagged down here. Now I already cut this off where it's nice and flush. And we could do this with, say, something like a sander of some sort. But again, we would really be asking for trouble. So we're just going to bevel that because, like I said, the bicycle project is up here, paint's curing. Now, if you're wondering what I'm doing right now, files have a tendency to sometimes get clogged up as you're working with them. That happens. Fire brush. It should be good to go again. Oh yeah, that's the bite I was wanting. It's our camping axe. We can make it however we want. So maybe at some point we'll make a sheath for the axe head, that sort of thing. Feels much nicer right there. So now we get to turn it over and do it again. To the other side. Not looking for anything crazy. Who all's here still? Oh, wow. Any wins on Fortnite? Not as of recent. Yeah, no crazy filing today. Let me get y'all caught up on that. For those that enjoy playing Fortnite, the chat was not updating like normal. Every once in a while, because I guess YouTube is just having problems, the chat will almost like reset, and I have to basically hit a couple buttons and see what all you said. It's just being stupid today. Just one of those things. Yeah, no crazy filing today. So if I missed something, I apologize. I didn't see the video, but I seen a picture that he put up there. And yeah, I seen it, and I just laughed. I thought that was really hilarious. TFZ with his, he's that's just the way he is. Taco did, yep. He's just, TFC's a funny guy. Yeah, the Taco Cat, yeah. Taco Cat. Princess Faye has a shirt with the same thing on it. And Taco Cat spelled backwards is still Taco Cat. I thought that was hilarious. Good Good to see you think different. It's good to see you today, buddy. So as it stands right now, again, the channel is still moving forward. Oh yeah, that's the one I was talking about with Fortnite. Yeah, I seen that, and it's like it. I couldn't help but laugh at. I thought it was really funny. Um, Real quick, while I'm also thinking about it, if you're in the Discord, there is now a new spot in the Discord for Cinnamon. Basically, Cinnamon will not be answering questions there, but uh, remember it's a character, okay? I can only do so much. But Cinnamon will now be taking questions that she'll be answering in the live streams. So if you're in the Discord, you can now ask Cinnamon questions that'll be put up in the live stream. So you'll notice that spot in there. Oh, you did? Okay. Okay. I haven't seen it yet, but I'll have to go through. And basically, it'll be my job to keep track of those questions for the next Cinnamon live stream. Which the week that Princess Faye is gone, there won't be a Cinnamon live stream unless all of a sudden a dang someone who is that Princess Faye trusts enough to do the that she would trust enough to do the makeup, which there is nobody. You might as well just hang that up. Dog shit. There we go. So if you wanted those awesome questions for Cinnamon, this is part of the restructure. So if we have any problems, like last night, there'll still be a way to keep it going. That's what was so frustrating, because if there's nobody to interact with, the chat is dead, so I had nothing to work with. That was the big problem. And so I could keep it going until people started making their way in, because it's Saturday night. Everyone's going to be doing something. Even though school's out, people are still, trying to squeeze in what they can while there's still decent weather. Which that also brings me to, do not forget, there's the whole thing with the car, the Prince Magnum channel car show, where we'll be showing off Project Spirit, Project Lena. We're going to have to start getting ready, because that's the first week of October that we'll be doing that. And I'm just curious how many people are really going to get into that. Basically, it'll be your chance to vote for what you've, the modify, which one you like for them. We all pretty well know it's an even split between the cars. It's a pretty even split. Which that was actually really shocking. I could not believe. It's always been where Project Spirit has always had a little bit more of a following than Lena, but now it's an even split. So Princess Faye and I were really shocked about that. We were really amazed at the fact that Spirit now has a little bit more of a following than Lena, and I was actually really impressed with that. That it's actually split pretty well down the middle. There was even quite a few of you that said, I can't decide. I was kind of sitting there looking at Princess Faye. I said, little did we know, that both cars would get that kind of a following. And she said, I didn't expect it. And I said, neither did I. Mima and oh, well, welcome to the live stream. You're from Simon from one of Ian's streams. Well, welcome. Right now we're just kind of reshaping our axe handle and kind of touching things up as usual. What's going on, Sean? Good to see you. We're just kind of touching things up. We're going to be slicing into a loaf of bread that I made. This is Urban Survival here on the channel. We have several series that we've been working with over the course of a long time. What's going on, Pinky? Princess Faye is at work. She won't be getting home till much later on tonight. Darn it all to hell. And we're going to be, basically we're just it's kind of a relaxed stream right now. Like I said, just touching up the axe handle, kind of reshaping it. We will not be sanding it because the bicycle project is like right there, just off camera. And didn't figure it was a good idea to start doing something like that. Getting a whole lot of sawdust flying everywhere. But we're going to be getting into where we're going to be sanding down the axe handle, taking this finish off. We're not going to be doing that this particular stream, but we're going to be getting it ready for a different finish. Along with that, we're also we're going to be slicing into a loaf of bread that I made a little while ago. You guys can see the structure, how the structure worked out, that sort of thing. We're experimenting with some different things and making different styles of loaves of bread. We're just trying some different stuff out. Along with that, I'm also talking about the numbers for the channel. We are at, when I looked before the live stream, we are at 3,005 watch hours. So 3,005, if you will, watch hours and counting. So right now, as we're talking, a spare device that you're not running or anything like that, do me a favor. There's some playlists here on the channel. Some of the best videos on a couple of those playlists. Definitely worth your time. Let those playlists run. If you think about it, take a good look at it. Right? What's that, Pinky? Oh, he'll be here. All right. And again, we're talking about, here on Urban Survival, I did not suspect that this series, that we would be bringing this back. For those that don't know, originally the Prince Magnum channel was looking at doing Urban Survival. At that time, I was watching a lot of survival videos here on the channel, and I thought they were really neat. And I thought, well, I don't live in the woods, or I don't live in a wooded area, so that just really doesn't make any sense to try to do a survival channel. But what if you live in town? What could you do in town? And originally that series was not that good. And then when we brought it back, we had a lot more content with the pandemic. And a lot of stuff that we do now is focused on what you could do to refurbish tools, what you could do to refurbish, just different things like that. What can you do that would take and go to the next level? What could you trade, if you will? What could you do to trade things, things like that, and even the bicycle project now fits into that category. What if there's what if it gets that bad where gasoline isn't able to be gotten to your town? Maybe the electric is out. What can you do to still, what could you do for transportation? By refurbing the bicycle project, we now have answered that question, doing the bicycle project. So we're also going to eventually talk about that in a later date, talking about the bicycle project, how that will tie into what we have been doing this entire time. Again, that is what Urban Survival is all about. And here, just at the top of basically at the top of the stream hour, we're going to go in and I'm going to slice into the homemade loaf of bread that we have made here on the channel. Did it by my own loving hands, if you will. Real quick, I will also get you caught up with a business idea that's going to be at a later date. Here on the Prince Magnum channel, we're always looking at what we could do to put back into the channel. A lot of what you see comes directly out of pocket, and that can get expensive in DIY projects. So that has been a serious problem here on the channel. What can we do to put back into the projects? And more than anything, the project cars. How can the channel pay for the project cars? So that has been on our mind for a long time. At about 1,000, we've got the supporter numbers, After the stream, I will definitely be on Fortnite. I need to continue further getting some levels, things like that. Along with that, we also got to take a good long look at doing, I've got to continue going up the divisions in the arenas or league play, however you want to put it. Definitely got to look at that. We really, we will be, getting that information, basically, I want, we're back to, I do want to get more video footage. I'm basically working on a compilation video for a few of you guys. So that is the plan. We've got a lot going on here on the channel. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be fun. You're now on Division 4. See, I'm in Division 4, and I'm actually now a good step in. I'm probably about, if I remember correctly, I'm actually a good ways in now. I wasn't able to do Hype Night. That sucks, but nobody was really on, and I'm not going to bother anybody because I know you all, it's a weekend. You all are busy. I'm not going to bother you all to jump on there and do Hype Night with me. So, it's no big deal. We did it last weekend and it worked out fine. We pulled off 35 points with all the sweats in there, as you guys might say it over there in the UK. I call them the tryhards. If they honestly took out that building, I honestly think that a lot of people would not be able to stand a snowball's chance in hell. That you would really see it happen, that a lot of people would not be able to do so well in Fortnite if they took the building out. And honestly, I honestly think there should be a division like that, where it's just you and the weapons that you pick up. And I think it would make the game a little bit more challenging. I think there honestly should be a division like that. And, as I continue to play the game and see certain things like that, I'll definitely make that suggestion that they should consider it. You know what? We're going to put this away and we're going to finish trimming this thing up. Again, just doing some light filing. Again, trying my hand at being a secretary, doing some filing. And just touching up those edges. So we're at 3,005 watch hours and climbing. Even right now, as you guys are sitting here, there was Sean. So for those of you who have not had the opportunity to check out the must-see Prince Magnum channel playlist, please do so. There's some really awesome videos that they kind of go back a little while. We even did one. I didn't know what you guys had going on at the time, and I just didn't feel right hollering at you guys to join me, which that's fine. It's not a super big deal, but you're right. I probably should have went ahead and hollered, but it's one of those things. I don't like being a bother to anybody. I know you guys run your channels and you work really hard on your channels. So I didn't want to disturb you all. So it was like that. And right now, I'm just touching up this edge, rounding it off, giving it a nice bevel. So we managed to pull down a really, awesome, axe. Got lucky. $5 for the axe head and for the handle that we have customized to fit my needs a little bit more. Believe it or not, about $15. Okay. And despite the fact that we're, reshaping it and everything, to me, it saved me a lot of headaches of actually going out and finding, good sized stick and then reshaping it and everything. I don't have the tools for that anyways. So in essence, I saved myself a lot of headaches, but we might, as time goes on, look at doing that. And eventually we might actually even go ahead and make some 18th century style wooden hammers. I know some of you might get a kick out of that. Colonial America. Colonial America was actually a really interesting time. And there's actually a channel that I follow here on YouTube called Townsend's. And this is where the idea for some of the stuff that you see here on Urban Survival, that's where we got the idea. Just about happy with the beveling here. And again, here in about 13 minutes, we're going to go in and we're going to slice up our brand new loaf of bread. I know you guys are interested to see that happen. There we go. Just about happy with that spot. Eventually, when we get a nice place that I can work outside a little bit more, I'm definitely going to go out and maybe like build my own workbench. That'd be a big help, believe me. Pretty happy with that. Oh, that's got a nice edge on it now. Check that out. We got a nice bevel that I can work with. Nothing too steep, but yet it not so jagged. Well, maybe. You see that beveled edge now. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's not like, let's make sure because I haven't seen anything pop up on the chat. There we go. And now we could even use it like this, which tempting. If I wanted to be a little lazy about it, we could use it like this and it would be just fine. But I thought we would go ahead and just dress up this end a little bit and then we'll sand down the handle, put a different finish on it. And again, we've kind of cut it down so it'll also now fit in a pack a little bit better. It's a little bit lighter. It's not as heavy as it once was. And it's a good camping axe now. It's got a decent edge on it, sharp enough that it could, to split wood just fine. We could even make it sharper if we wanted, but it's not really necessary. It's sharp enough to split wood, which is exactly what it's meant to do. So again, we now have an easy to handle axe. Again, we could even reshape the handle a little bit more to fit my hand a little bit better up here at the top, but it feels pretty good up here. It feels pretty good here. It's a good axe. It's a really good axe for what we need. So I'm happy with this. Again, we could even go so far and get some epoxy and lay it in here. But again, it's not necessary. It's not so much just for looks. This is all about making sure that it's functional. That's the main thing. Okay. At a later date, we will continue on with our measuring spoon, cleaning that up. So in essence, we're almost building like in a, if something should happen that we have to, step outside of town, maybe the disaster has gotten so bad maybe a disaster is hit so bad. Most people forget that Missouri has one of the nastiest fault lines in the United States. So nasty, in fact, that one of the last time it went off, it it did a little bit of damage, but not much. But the time before that, when the New Madrid fault line went ahead and went off, we're talking all the way back in the 1800s. And when it went off, it was knocking trees down as far away as Canada. Missouri is smack dab in the middle of the United States. So literally, it was knocking trees down as far away as Canada. One of the and in that, it actually changed, how the Mississippi River flows. On top of that, as well, it at one point changed. It actually started making the Mississippi reverse. It was actually flowing upstream, going the other way. That's weird, and another aftershock, set it right again. So if that's any indication how nasty the New Madrid fault line is, again, if Missouri is not really truly prepared for a natural disaster of that magnitude. Along with that, right here where I live, there's a bunch of lead mines. Now, most people would think, okay, well, those mines are long since abandoned. Well, here's the problem with that. Because of those lead mines, they might fill them with water, but if a nasty enough earthquake happens and the ground above decides to drop, well, now you've got a huge trench with water. So this is a bad thing. Having, again, skills like this, so if the apartment complex collapses from the debris, you can pick up your tools and build some sort of a makeshift shelter until relief arrives, because the roads will be knocked out. It'll take a while for the National Guard to get here. And I will also say, no offense to our hardworking people in the National Guard, but the last time I seen them, when we had a serious natural disaster, this is not a joke. They basically came by. Is anyone hurt? Whatever. No? Okay, fine. And then they moved on, and you never seen them again. And it was an entire 5 days that Missouri was under a severe emergency situation. We're talking, this was back in about 2006. We had a severe ice storm that knocked out power, knocked out utilities of all sizes and shape. The only thing actually going at that time was, believe it or not, the water. And you were lucky to get that. So there was no hot water. You had to figure out what to do to continue, daily living. And most people were not prepared. And the National Guard, no offense, again, to our friends in the National Guard, they weren't a whole lot of help. There was nothing kicking off. And what did they do? They immediately worried about the commercial businesses. Nursing homes had people that ended up after that. A lot of people contracted influenza, and nursing homes watched a severe drop in its populace. So businesses lost a lot of money. So because of that, not only would an earthquake here in Missouri do a lot of damage in that scenario, but it could do a lot of damage as far away in surrounding states. So because of that, I definitely suggest picking up some of the tips and skills that we have been using here on Urban Survival. Definitely worth your time. So in this particular situation, being able to go out and gather fuel with a charcoal grill, you would definitely be in that particular situation where you would then be able to take care of yourself. You'd be able to cook. You would be able to do all sorts of things. And eventually we will be getting a Dutch oven, and I'll actually show how to, how to cook with that. Believe it or not, I spent enough time where now I can actually cook with a Dutch oven, cast iron, of course. So there's that little tidbit. Let's go in. We're pretty well close enough to time. So I'm going to go in. I'm going to grab our loaf of bread that we did, wash my hands, grab the loaf of bread, and we're going to slice into it so you all can see what it looks like on the inside. The chat doesn't seem like it's been moving, but I'm willing to bet, yep, There it is. How you doing, honey? Chat did not update as usual. It's good to see you, babe. So that is where that stands right now. Let's go in real quick. Let's slice open our bread. I'm going to go ahead and disconnect the power source. How you doing, babe? Let's go. There we go. We're still live. Thank goodness. A little buffering there. Okay. I'm going to turn y'all right over here so you guys can see what's happening. And I'm going to lay our loaf of bread down right there. I'm going to lay down a cutting mat. There you go, babe. Let me step off camera. Well, there's our loaf of bread. I'm going to set that right there. Sneaky, sneaky. I'm going to tilt the camera down so y'all can get a look at it. And I'm going to go ahead and give my hands a quick washing since I've been playing with, playing with stuff outside. There we go. And there's our cutting mat. I'm going to grab a decent knife. A bread knife would be a little bit better, but this one has a mild serrated edge, so it'll be just fine for this. I'm going to turn the loaf around right like that. Good structure. Look at that. Amazing structure. Smell is absolutely fantastic. Look at that. Nice structure on the inside. Doesn't that look good? Look at that. Amazing, isn't it? Nothing on it. Exactly. Exactly. Okay, here we go. Crust has a nice crunch to it. But it's not so crunchy that you can't bite into it. Good and soft on the inside. If I've said it once, I'll say it again. If you can't eat bread alone, it's not good bread. Again, structure is wonderful. Flavor, absolutely amazing. Perfect for dipping. Shoot, we could even go so far as to make like a sausage gravy poured right over the top. Be absolutely amazing. That's good bread. And if you did it right, you could pretty well eat it by itself. That's when you know you did it right. Just one of those things. Again, this is the type of bread that a lot of people really like, but most people get stuck eating bread like this. Which do you want? I know which one I want. That's amazing. So, honey, when you get home, this is what's waiting on you. Double check the chat. There we go. Mm. Gosh dang, that's when you know you did it right. I'd take off a couple slices for Princess Faye for when she gets home. She hates having to slice it up. It does. It looks good. It tastes great. And I'm really, really happy with the recipe that we're using right now. I'm going to slice this up. Get a couple really good slices in there. Perfect for open face sandwiches too. Look at that. It's still so light. Still so doggone fluffy. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? Did that all on our own. That's amazing. Again, anybody can do this. Ridiculously easy. There you go, Pinky. The bread that we made. Look at that. Scoot you over here. Nice structure, good crust. Looks good, doesn't it? So good it actually stands alone. You don't even have to put anything on it. Let it dry for a couple of days, get kind of stale. And you could use it for soup or turning into croutons. This is a skill set I think everybody should have. Even if you never use it, okay? There's no such thing as useless knowledge. Think different. You live in my area. Sometime I might have to bake you up a loaf. Might have to bake you up a loaf. Yeah, I know, Queen Bee. Front door's open. Come in and get you some. Turned out great, didn't it? Stuffing, dressing. There you go. Very good, Sean. I didn't even think about that. That's true. Even used to make homemade breadcrumbs. You know, again, anybody could do this stuff. And I'm enjoying bread making. I'm really enjoying it. Bread pudding. Imagine making bread pudding with this. Again, anybody can do this. Which just proves my point, you know. Survival. I mean, when you can make stuff like this, plenty of, you can trade it. Shoot, you can feed the family. Survival can times in survival can happen anywhere. And again, yeah, we could still get stuff like this, but every now and again, the shortages hit us. Actually, you'd be surprised. Tell you a little secret, Sean. You make up your custard for French toast, and then you let then when you go to make it, the bread then will soak in all the liquids for your French toast. Perfect for it. Because this doesn't have the stuff in it that prevents it from, like this type of bread has all sorts of crazy stuff in it that doesn't let it stale right away, unless you just leave it open to air for days. This bread will stale a little bit quicker. It won't stale as fast if you don't cut into it. So as long as it stays whole, it won't get stale very, very quickly. On the other hand, it's denser. It's actually good bread. Again, you can eat it by itself, as you've been watching me do, because it just tastes that amazing. So it'll work just fine for French toast. You just have to let it get a little stale. That's the problem. But that's easy to do. You just take your get a half sheet pan and a cooling rack like this, okay, and you put your bread slices on it. Just let the air get to it the night before, and it'll be dry enough for your French toast the next morning. That easy. Don't get much easier than that, right? Which the French designed French toast. It had a different name. It has a different name in France. Pain Perdu, I think is how it's put. It's a great way to get rid of stale bread. That's why it was designed. Surprise, surprise. I know in during medieval times in England, stale bread was oftentimes used to thicken sauces. So for those of you over in England, that's actually something from you guys' history. You guys would use stale breads, just like we're using right here, to thicken sauces. Funny I would know that. I believe that dates back to the Middle Ages. Surprise, surprise, I actually know some history, right? Actually, I know a lot about history. Um, there we go. And then we'll hook up again. So we have done exactly what I said that we would do pretty much. Now we're going to spend a little bit of time for those of you still kind of getting caught up with what's been going on with the channel. Let's cover some of our bases. Number one, the bicycle project. We've got it painted. The lighting is kind of horrible, but I'll show it. There's the bicycle project. Again, we had to touch up a couple of spots, but it's done. That part is done. The paint is on. It looks great. Turned out very nice. So now from here, we have a little bit more to do, but for the most part, it's pretty well done, for the most part. The painting was the hardest part that we had to deal with. That part of the project is now done. We're going to continue forward with the camping axe. Okay? Again, refurbishing tools, absolute must. You should know how to do that. And I've got a tool actually from my own toolbox that definitely needs refurbishing. We've still got the measuring spoon to finish up. Got all the nastiness off of that for the most part, but we've got a little bit of light work to do to that. So that's definitely on the agenda. Let's see, what else we got? We've obviously getting close to sending Project Spirit to see our friends at Torque Diesel and Auto. I've got more money to take them, along with that, I get paid tomorrow, so I'll have a little bit to work with there as well. And sometime during this week, we will be transporting the transmission and all the other parts that we have picked up for Project Spirit, we'll be transporting those parts in to see our friends at Torque Diesel and Auto. They're going to take a good close look at everything and make sure that everything is hunky-dory. So I'm excited. I'm excited about what we got on the plate. Sometime basically tomorrow is I'm really not 100% sure what we're going to be doing tomorrow, to be absolutely honest with you all. And since some of you were asking me if I'm going to get on Fortnite, we'll cut the stream a little short tonight. Mainly, I just wanted to come in, kind of start getting this part done. Tomorrow, depending on how the paint looks on the bicycle project, tomorrow we'll go ahead and sand this down and put a new finish on it. And we'll actually get ready to start the next project for the channel. For Urban Survival, we'll start a new project. Along with that, gosh, we got a lot of stuff up in the air. And eventually, this coming week, because I know Princess Faye. All right, I'll holler at y'all. So we're going to cut the stream a little short tonight. Just spending a little bit more time with you guys, run up that watch time the hours. I imagine by the end of this stream, we'll probably have pretty close to around about, if you were to twist my arm, I would say we'll probably be picking up about an extra 8 to 9 hours just from this stream alone. Good for us, right? And that's just from what I've been able to see. Again, if you've not had the chance to smash the like button, do so at this time. I'll stream by myself if I'm going to do it, because we're still working out the bugs with OBS to be able to handle Fortnite, or otherwise we're going to get a lot of the same problems that we did before. And for those that missed that was horrible. The audio was perfect, but the actual gameplay, you guys could not see it. Which it may just be a graphic card issue. So that's kind of where we stand right now. 4 likes, thank you so much. Again, we'll also, I'll be talking a little bit more with Spaz Baby as the week goes on, and kind of working out the details of when I actually get to go over and do her podcast. I think she's in Illinois, if I remember correctly. So we're looking at where I'll have to travel a little bit to do the podcast, which is totally fine. I know I don't mind doing a little traveling. And I know you guys will be really, really excited about that podcast. The whole podcast with Cinnamon, and the podcast where Princess Faye and I will be talking about the channel and everything. The Prince Magnum channel has been very busy, very busy. So again, if you're keeping up with keeping score, we're less than 1,000 watch hours away from meeting our goal, 4,000. YouTube actually sent me an email, basically saying I'm not quite there yet, but I'm getting close. And I'm like, all right, that's exciting news. I'm really happy about that. They did send me an email saying that we know you're not quite there, but you're getting close. So I was really happy with that. And of course, that'll mean I have to set everything up so the money will make it over, no problem. So that is our plan right now as it stands. We're just trying to get our watch time in. Again, if you've not had the opportunity to check out the must-see Prince Magnum channel videos, you definitely want to do that. It's like my personal favorites that definitely deserve a lot of attention, I guess you could say. Like the best of the best, the cream of the crop for my videos. And some of it goes all the way back, like the original video with Project Spirit, where we actually did the original walk around. That video is in there, ironically enough. The original video where we unveiled the brand new project. The video where we unveiled Project Lena is in there. That video is in there. I'm probably going to see about including the video and it's about a half an hour long, really funny video, where I actually did this video talking about, you know, basically about it was a celebration of 200 subscribers, and there's a video on the channel. I hate this video, but it's coming up on 100,000 views slowly. But it's coming up on 100,000 views, and it's the original about the original project car. About 7 minutes and 1 second of the worst possible video I could do. We didn't even have editing software at that time. It was just basically I videoed it, put it on YouTube, and that was one of the early videos to the Prince Magnum channel. But you know, we're talking that the information is good. It was just done very badly. We did a second video kind of going back and talking about that video, and I actually went into detail on some of the haters. So we're definitely going to include that one on the playlist. Absolutely a fantastic video. And it was even, every once in a while I'll get someone that'll leave a nasty comment on there, and then I refer them to that video, and they get really upset, because usually it's a really, it's one of those by the book mechanics, and they're like, okay, well, there's nothing more to say. He said what needed to be said. But then the other side of that is then there's the bad mechanics, the ones that try to rip people off. They get really angry and have nothing to say because they know I just called them out on their bullshit. And then there's the Mustang fanboys. There's a difference. There's your people in the Mustang community. They're like, hey, you're just doing something different. Hey, cool with that. Great. But then there's the other side of it, that they're the ones that, well, I've been doing it this way, and they automatically think that the modifications that they made are bad. No, you just did what everybody else was doing. That doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. It's tried and true, but we're just doing something different. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that at all. If anything, stop being so dang sore about it. Someone just thought of something different. That's all. That's just the way it works. And then basically I gave them that cold, hard slap in the face, saying, I just thought of something different. That's all. And it was winning car shows. It was winning it was doing great in car shows. And that car brought home 2 trophies. So we're going to definitely be including that. And we might be even including some future stuff with Cinnamon into that same playlist. But for right now, definitely, you guys want to grab that video and check it out yourself. Grab that playlist. There's even one on there, my all-time favorite on the channel. There's an actual video, and took him for a ride in Project Spirit. We went for a ride in Project Spirit for his 14th birthday. And that's actually a really good video. It's one of my all-time favorites. Our friend Kevin Myers, who isn't in here, he actually fell in love with that video. It's his favorite. Shoot, there's even a video where I told some guy off who actually tried to be a douchebag to me when I was bringing some stuff in for donation that was to go overseas for soldiers. And he didn't, he got stupid with me, and when I walked back up and I was on camera, then it was a whole nother ball game. He stopped being a dick then. He didn't know what to say. He's like, oh shit. And I told him exactly who I was and what was going on. We pulled money and basically the donations went in to directly, basically, they were raising donations for, this one woman was doing, her daughter was actually doing, these beauty pageants. And to my knowledge, this young lady is still doing these, beauty pageants. She loves them, a lot of fun. But it goes to raise money. Basically you donate to, for that child to be in the pageant. Nah. This is it. This is our camping axe. I just spent a little bit of time touching it up. Basically, it had some rough edges here where we pounded the handle back in. A brand new handle. So I had to kind of touch up the edges here. That's fine now. No rough edges here. And then I had before the stream had cut off the end of the handle because it's as I was pounding it in, it split. Well, the handle was still it felt a little heavy, and I didn't like the way it felt down here. So what I went ahead and did was I cut this off, shaved some of the weight, so now it fits. It'll be lighter inside of a backpack. So if you're backpacking and doing some serious camping, that's a definite must. And then I beveled the edge so there's no rough edges down here for whenever I grip it low when I'm actually splitting wood. And in a later stream, we're going to sand down the handle and put a different finish on it altogether, making it look a little nicer, a little bit more presentable. I'm not going to get hung up too much with aesthetics, mainly because of the simple fact that we don't need to get hung up on aesthetics. We're going to be actually using this. And when we got our hands on this axe, it was an absolute rust bucket. Okay. Just an absolute mess. We took it down to this mirror finish, took away all the rough edges, put a decent edge on it, good enough for chopping wood. Again, we're back to functional. And again, you could tell that this axe was used extensively at one point in time in its life. So we're definitely going to. Oh, and it feels good and light in the hand. You know, I'm not a big guy, but I'm not a weak guy, Um, you know, but and the last thing I want to do is carry something that's unwieldy, okay? And a lot of times with these handles, these things can get really heavy. And honestly, this will work just fine. Don't need anything crazier than that. Um, and as a matter of fact, I even used a saw that we actually refurbished here on the channel. Actually used a saw blade, a hand saw to cut off the end. Well, it got so far and it kept getting bound up. That's just the way hickory is, and it's a refurbish. What do you expect? But other than that, it turned out pretty good. And even right now, we could go out and begin splitting wood, but it's getting pretty dark here, so we're not going to do that. Glad you came in, Zaz. It was really nice of you to come in. Along with that, we even sliced open a loaf of bread that I made here on the channel. Yeah, I'll be on Fortnite here just pretty soon. Getting ready to jump off and get, done. Earlier today, we live streamed doing the bicycle project, getting the paint on it. I think you were in there for that. So right now, we're on the home stretch. I'm going to be shutting down the stream probably in the next 5 minutes. And then tomorrow, I'm not 100% sure, but we're going to be definitely doing something tomorrow. Depends on how my paycheck looks. We may be going. And of course, we're going to be taking a close look at some of the stuff that's going to be going back into Project Spirit again tomorrow. Tuesday, I will not be streaming Tuesday. Wednesday, when we come back, we're going to be doing a raid stream. Wednesday Night Raiders. It's now become a tradition here on the channel. And I enjoy doing the Wednesday Night Raiders. That's where we'll sit out here and we'll just live stream going into other people's channels and rating them. It's so much fun. So it definitely would like everyone to be present if you can. So again, we did the axe. Let's go in. Let's take a look at our bread real quick. Show you guys the hearty loaf of bread that we made. Again, bread making is definitely a skill that everyone should have. And eventually, for the purposes of urban survival, we will also, we're looking at perfecting our recipes for different types of bread, which will definitely be live streaming that as we continue to perfect the recipes. But we're looking at sometime this next year going to actual farmers markets and selling some of our bread. See how that turns out. So let me show you what we have created. Come on, you uncooperative. There we go. There is our homemade loaf of bread. Doesn't that look good? Amazing structure. We'll have to do some home pickling again soon. Sorry about that. We had a little buffering. Doesn't that look good? And this is actually a skill that we developed here on the channel, bread making. Now we've adjusted this particular recipe, and real quick, some people, they're like, gosh, that's got to be really dense. It is, but that's the way good bread is. As a matter of fact, to prove my point, I even ate the healed part of the bread in the live stream, so you all could see that happen. It tastes amazing. The crust is actually good. That has been, when they make sandwiches and things like that. One of the complaints that I've often heard is the crust tastes bland. So most people will even go so far as to cut the crust off. The crust will actually be really good. It's got a good structure to it. Tastes amazing. Okay? So, is it worth it? Yes. And people love good homemade bread like that. And that's actually a type of bread that you can get just about anywhere. Really, to make good bread like we numerous times on the channel now and showed that off, all you need is either all-purpose flour or bread flour, which for the record, I will say bread flour actually makes a better loaf of bread than what the all-purpose flour. It tastes better. Not sure why. That bread does taste good, but we used an unbleached all-purpose flour. We measure it by weight. Then 10 ounces of water is all you need, okay? A teaspoon of active dry yeast or rapid rise, okay? 2 to 3 tablespoons of honey and a single teaspoon of kosher salt. Or we've been using pink Himalayan. Works just fine, okay? Mix that all together. Put it in the refrigerator for 10 hours. Just let it sit in the refrigerator for 10 hours. Pull it out, knead it, and then you get a pan of some sort, fill it with hot boiling water in that pan. And then you put you slide that in, and on the rack above, you put your dough ball inside of some sort of a vessel, put that in there, and just let it rise. It comes out, it's real sticky, it's gooey, it doesn't look like it's going to be all that great, but it has plumped up a great deal. You're going to knead it again for about 5 to 10 minutes, okay? 5 minutes usually is all it'll take. Unless you're using the bread flour, then you want to go a little bit longer. And then after that, believe it or not, you then just let it sit on your counter for a couple hours. After that, nothing crazy. After 2 hours of sitting in the oven with the hot steam, you don't even turn the oven on. And you let it rise in the oven. Then when you take it out, you knead it for about 5-10 minutes. Then you turn right around and you let it rise on the counter in some sort of a vessel. And, for about an hour or two. And that it'll really plump up again. You'd be surprised. It's called bench proofing. I don't know what it's proofing, but then when it rises again, you get a really nice texture. Bake in the oven, 400 degrees, for about an hour. I find with my oven, 50 minutes is good. You'll have to experiment with that. And the internal temperature that you're looking, about 190 to about 200 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm not sure what that is for those of you who use the metric system. I'll let you guys do the mathematics on that. And then after that, once you're done with that, let it cool on a cooling rack for about a half an hour. Slice, and you're good, you know. So that's as simple as it gets. And again, you make a bread like this, and you can take it over to your local farmer's market and sell it for a very, very nice price. People will pay. I mean, that's a heck of a windfall. You could put that back into ingredients and things like that. Absolutely amazing. So we have went for a little over an hour and a half in this particular live stream. A lot of you have joined us and come in to see what has been happening. Again, I'm going to announce it again. The Prince Magnum channel has broke the 3,000 watch hour marker as of this morning. So here in just a few moments, we're going to shut down the stream. I'm going to jump onto Fortnite, spend a little bit of time with you all. Yep, good bread. It's good bread. Damn good bread. And then once that's all done, the next stage of the game is I got to get some rest. I got to be at work at 4 o'clock in the morning, clocking on. I'll be there till 1. And then after that, the last thing on my agenda, Tuesday I will not be streaming. Wednesday we'll come back. We'll do some raids. Thursday. What's going on, Broken Mike? You missed it. We've been getting everyone caught up to speed. So again, it's good to see you, Broken Mike. I hope you're doing good. Hope you're doing very well. Again, we got a lot done to the bicycle project today. We got a big jump in the right direction with the bicycle project. We got a lot accomplished. Also, if you are in the Discord, which I forgot to put the link up to the Discord, but if you are in the Discord, you can now ask Cinnamon questions that will be answered in Cinnamon's next live stream. I'm doing fantastic. I've been doing fantastic. I'm getting excited because we're getting close to meeting our goal. We're getting very close to meeting our goal. Again, if you have a spare device that you're not using for anything, it's just sitting there. Let the channel run its lives. Let the channel run. The playlist. There's a really awesome playlist on the channel. We are getting close to having the money making stuff turned back on. You guys would then be able to donate to Super Chat and all sorts of stuff like that, which would be a tremendous help to the channel. Be a tremendous help to the channel. Big help. Of course, the money would then go back in for the projects, and we would be able to get these cars done a lot quicker and a lot sooner. We also have a Patreon account, but with everyone being, money being so short for everybody, I don't feel right asking people to go over to the Patreon account, so I don't bother talking about it. But we will get back. I need to get in there and start working on the merchandising stuff for the channel. We do have a Teespring store that I've just not bothered to finish it up. We got to get some products out there for y'all. Coffee mugs, t-shirts, you name it. We're going to do it all. All right. So that's where we stand. I'm going to be on Fortnite here pretty soon. Real quick, again, if you're watching the playback, be sure to smash the like button. If you haven't smashed the like button and you're here right now, please do so at this time. Let YouTube know we are a force to be reckoned with here on the Prince Magnum channel. See a total of 8 likes. Thank you. And I'm figuring by the end of this stream, we'll have around about 8 to 9 hours in the, tied up in just this stream alone. And that doesn't include what's going to happen with the playback. But Friday, we'll be in the home stretch. Project Spirit will probably be, this is my last week at work before vacation. Hey, what's going on, Mr. Mysterious? We were just getting ready to shut it down for the night. But we'll sit around for a few more moments. We just finished touching up our axe a little bit that we refurbished here on the channel. We hacked off the end here. So now it's a little bit more user friendly. Beveled the edge, so no jagged edges. There was some fraying where we put it, where we were putting the axe in. Sorry about that, a little buffering. Seems to be commonplace these days for everybody. In one of the next live streams, we're going to put the handle down. We're going to put a different finish on it. And then in one of the future live streams, we'll actually be out there splitting wood with it. And we're actually going to do a fire pit for the night. So you guys will actually be able to sit there in a live stream with me, enjoying a nice little fire made with tool, that we got everything. Getting all caught up, so what we'll be definitely doing is basically using tools to actually get the fuel for that particular fire. That'll be really fun, and I know a lot of you will definitely enjoy that. Hopefully we'll actually be able to build some things with the tools that we refurbish here on the channel for urban survival. Again, on urban survival, it's all about, living in town, making and doing things to help you survive natural disasters, or in this case, a pandemic, and stuff like this. Whoa, almost, y'all. Stuff like this. There you go. Thank you. When you see things like this, we could actually sell this or trade it for something that that might be in short supply and someone has a whole lot of, just common knowledge. Eventually, I'd like to get a piece of property and actually build some stuff on that property and do that as part of the channel. Eventually, that would be fun, wouldn't it? Build an old homestead like you might have seen in this country at one time or something like that, or even like a little lodge, do some camping out there with y'all, get some video footage. That would be fun. But anyhow, that's in the future. So again, we've got a lot accomplished in just this live stream alone. We sliced open some bread. You guys seen that? Homemade bread. It was amazing. It tastes amazing. Even ate some of it on camera. Ate the heel. And most people don't even like the heel of bread. So, again, we're getting close to our goal in our watch hours. YouTube sent me a message letting me know I wasn't quite there yet, but I was getting close. I was like, yeah, buddy. All right, so that brings us to a good stopping point. Again, I want to thank you all for being here with me and hanging out and just having a good time with me. I'm going to be jumping onto Fortnite here pretty soon. So that being said, again, as a firm reminder, get out there and work on a project. I don't care what it is, just do something with yourself. Remember, idle hands and a creative mind. Right? Hang in there, Broken Mike. Remember, idle hands and a creative mind go together. Me too. Remember, idle hands and a creative mind go together like oil and water. If you have a sweetheart, sweep them off their feet and do something special for them today. There's always something special to do for your sweetheart. And as always, for all of you out there, if no one out there has told any of you that they love you today, Prince Magnum does. God bless you and have a happy 24. Thank you.